It is now very clear to many African countries that Russia is the way and the future. Africa has suffered with puppet leaders for a long time, and it now seems things are beginning to go well for the leaders and the people. Moscow has always viewed Dakar as a reliable partner in Africa and had plans to expand cooperation with it. Russian President Vladimir Putin has had several meetings with the former president, Macky Sall. Now, there is a new regime, and this only means that new talks have to begin. In today's video, we are going to see the possible ways that Senegal and Russia will work to improve their relations. We are also going to be telling you more about the relations between Senegal and Russia. Before we continue, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the new tourist channel to get all updates on Bassirou Diomaye Faye, Russia, and their plans for Senegal. Also, let us know in the comments what you think of Senegal's relationship with Russia. Bassirou Diomaye Faye, the newly elected president of Senegal, wants greater unity among African nations in the face of security threats. He wishes to restate Senegal's dedication to bolstering initiatives to advance peace, security, stability, and African integration. He may have to lean toward Russia as Ibrahim Traoré and the rest have done to be able to achieve this. Bear in mind that Russian influence has been gaining ground across Africa in recent years, placing the continent at the crux of the growing geopolitical contest between the Kremlin and the White House. Senegal and Russia recently signed a Memorandum of Understanding on Human Rights Collaboration, which is a major step forward for their partnership and demonstrates Moscow's growing interest in the African nation. The two countries' bilateral alliance highlights Moscow's policy of strengthening its presence in Africa, which is in line with its larger geopolitical objectives of opposing Western influence in the area. Bassirou Faye was not yet president when this memorandum was signed, but since it is in line with what he has to do for Senegal, he will have to have more meetings to see the outcome of this. This memorandum aims to foster cooperation on educational initiatives and the exchange of successful strategies for defending civil, political, social, and cultural rights. Both sides expressed hope that increased collaboration between Dakar and Moscow would result in harmonizing national laws protecting human rights. Russia's interests in Senegal extend across various sectors, reflecting its multifaceted approach to engagement in the region. Dakar presents promising opportunities for Moscow, particularly in sectors such as energy, mining, agriculture, and infrastructure. Senegal is a desirable place for Russian investments due to its expanding economy and advantageous geographic position. In recent years, bilateral trade and economic cooperation have been the main topics of discussion between the two countries. Russia's emphasis on Senegal's economic development aligns with its overarching strategy to broaden its economic ties and secure access to important markets and resources beyond its conventional spheres of influence. But Russia should not be hoping to gain so much from working with Senegal because newly elected Faye, under the moniker of left Pan-Africanism, has vowed to make his country more sovereign in food, energy, and finance. This only means that he is going to be very keen on any agreement that Russia has to make. Senegal and Russia have increased their military relations in recent years. The two countries' defense ties were strengthened significantly in 2018 with the signing of a military cooperation pact. Moscow's aim to increase its military presence in the area is reflected in this deal, which includes clauses for arming and training Senegalese soldiers. Bassirou plans on protecting his country from all insecurities. So, it is only normal that he continues working with Russia. In addition to serving Russia's geopolitical objectives, the military cooperation helps Senegal in its endeavors to improve its defense capabilities and tackle regional security issues. The two nations' expanding military collaboration also highlights the Kremlin's intention to become an important security partner for African countries, further integrating its influence on the continent. While promising to manage affairs ethically and to build the economy, Faye said, Senegal will be a country of hope, at peace, with an independent justice system and a stronger democracy. The new president has vowed to tackle corruption and introduce a series of economic reforms to prioritize national interests, including the renegotiation of oil, gas, and mineral contracts with foreign operators. Will the growing influence of other foreign countries, or simmering anti-French sentiment, be stoked by a Faye presidency? Will it lessen France's already declining military and economic influence in West Africa, where Paris has already withdrawn its forces from Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger? These are some of the questions asked by many Senegalese around the world. However, it should be noted that as Faye is looking for ways to partner with Russia, he is also seriously fighting the French. One of Faye's pledges was to abolish the CFA franc, the colonial currency that was used in West Africa. This strategy is consistent with the objectives that Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali announced in February regarding their intention to phase out the use of the colonial CFA franc. Faye also promised to review ties with former colonial power France, in a move that raised questions over the country's future foreign policy. Faye becomes president at a critical juncture in his nation's history. Important oil and gas projects are set to begin production later this year, potentially providing a boost to the country's economy and drawing interest from regional and global powers. Senegal, however, is situated in a volatile area that has seen several coups in recent years. Furthermore, the ongoing threat posed by jihadis is demonstrated by the many terrorist captures made by Senegalese armed personnel, who have recently increased their border mobilization efforts. Faye has so much on his plate for a start, but he will tackle them as time goes on. The cooperation between Moscow and Dakar will present Russia's geopolitical interests with both opportunities and risks. It exposes Russia to possible rivalry and conflicts in the area, even as it enables Moscow to offset the Western presence and increase its influence on the continent. Increased geopolitical tensions could result from Western powers being concerned about the two countries' expanding economic and military relations. Note that young Africans who were feeling hopeless have found solace in Faye's victory in the presidential election, which also serves as a reminder of the ability of elections to affect change. His ascent to prominence might serve as an example for other African leaders who have experienced censorship and repression. As much as Bassirou would like to have allies out of the continent, he needs to work hand in glove with other African countries. Note that Burkina Faso's captain Ibrahim Traoré congratulated Mr. Bassirou Diomaye Faye, praising him as the poster child for an unrestrained, independent, and sovereign Africa at the start of a new historical period. This statement came after the swearing-in of Bassirou Diomaye Faye as the fifth president of the Republic of Senegal, an event that marked the start of a new era for the country. Captain Ibrahim Traoré said he was impressed by the newly elected president and sees him as a force for transformation on the continent. Traoré emphasized the significance of visionary and strong leadership for the liberation and advancement of Africa, by referring to it as a representation of an unrestrained, independent, and sovereign Africa. The head of the Burkinabe military regime further demonstrated his commitment to positive cooperation between African nations, which is necessary to advance common interests and address regional and global challenges, by stating his willingness to work with Bassirou Diomaye Faye for the renovation of sub-regional and international cooperation. This statement emphasizes how crucial regional collaboration and ties within the African continent are to advancing peace, stability, and prosperity. It also draws attention to how important it is for Africa's new leaders to take the lead in reforming both their nations and the continent. With Bassirou Diomaye Faye as president, Ibrahim Traoré's words express optimism and hope for a better future for Africa. They show how eager African countries are to collaborate and form partnerships to overcome shared obstacles and fulfill the continent's potential. Bassirou Diomaye Faye also received a congratulations letter from Brigadier General Abderrahmane Chiani, president of the National Council for the Protection of the Fatherland of Niger. In his statement, Chiani congratulates Faye on his win and calls it proof of the validity of the principles of social justice, independence, and patriotism upheld by his party. He also expresses his conviction that they will be able to give a new dynamic to relations between Niger and Senegal, in the sense of asserting their sovereignty and truly defending the interests of their peoples. Chiani reiterates his dedication to collaborating with Faye inside the Alliance of Sahel states to advance social democracy, sovereignty, and the widely recognized interests of the Sahelian peoples. It is worth noting that many presidents sent in their messages of congratulations to the new president of Senegal. U.S. President Joe Biden also sent his congratulations and said he was looking forward to strengthening ties and forging a more peaceful and prosperous future for all. But Bassirou has yet to make known all the countries he is going to be allying with. Bassirou Diomaye Faye has shown great dedication to cooperating with other nations. Faye's focus on friendly ties and his productive discussions with French President Emmanuel Macron point to a possible alliance with the former colonial power, France. Furthermore, his emphasis on examining mining contracts and giving Senegal's interests top priority points to a more comprehensive strategy for international cooperation. Senegal's prosperity and international reputation are expected to be enhanced by Faye's readiness to form cooperative relationships with other nations as he works to build Senegal as a sovereign and independent state. As president, his idea of win-win connections might lead to productive and constructive contacts with countries worldwide. Do you think Russia will be one of Faye's top picks when it comes to allies? Which other countries do you think he is going to work with? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the New Tourist channel. Turn on notifications too so you get notified whenever we upload videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you in our next video.